which for me would be
lot of
I could not
ounces.
do that. I could not do that. That's,
I'm like-
I would be floating. I would never be out of the bathroom.
Well, yeah.
I've seen that too, and I'm like, that wouldn't work for me. Yeah, I know. I could never make the ideal like this.
I'd have to lose water.
Morning, everyone. We'll call today's meeting to order on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Bobby, would you call the roll, please?
Cheryl Hentz. Heidi Basford Kirkhoff.
Here.
Julie Kiefer.
Here.
Julie Davids.
Here.
Bryn Siemens excused. Lindsay Temple.
Lindsay Temple resigned.
Julie Maslowski. Judy Ritchie.
Here.
Mike Ford.
Here.
Michael Norton. Joanne Murphy Spice.
Here.
Jean Wallerman. Here.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Along the way of roll call, Mike, welcome back to another term on the committee. We certainly
Thank you.
appreciate your presence and your input.
Yeah, good to be here.
As we just said, Lindsay Temple resigned immediately. She is back from maternity leave, but with mornings changed drastically, and she's not able to make the meetings at this time. Her husband, being a doctor at Aurora, is not able to flex time to accommodate her schedule. So she's resigned. She's willing to work with us in the background if we have anything come up that can use her input. And then Mike Norton asked not to be reappointed, and he has not been, I believe he was at one meeting, has not been attending the meetings. So with that, all of that, we have an incomplete term, Lindsay's term, which would expire in May of 2024. So we can accept applicants for that particular position. And then also with Mike Norton's alternate position, that also is open. So again, we can accept applications for that. The application is available online to be done digitally or to be printed off and mailed into the city manager's office for review and appointment by the mayor. A little long-winded. With that going on, the minutes had been mailed, of the April meeting had been mailed to you. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second on that, please?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Okay, minutes approved. Bobby, did you have any citizen statements?
No.
Okay. Any public comments on the agenda items?
None.
Okay. And at this time, I am going to announce that our speaker for today had a family situation come up. So we won't be having a presentation on the Oshkosh West High Veterans Honor Wall. It'll be scheduled at a later date. But he did ask that if anyone in the community knows of either a West High School or going back years, Oshkosh High School students, if they know any of them that have served in the military and are not listed on the honor wall, which contains, I think, almost 5,000 names right now, to contact him and get the appropriate information, and there'll be a plaque designated for that person also. So then we're actually going to move on. Old business, does anyone have any? New business scams, Heidi?
I do have a couple.
Since the last meeting, I know that the fire department had put on their Facebook page that they are not selling T-shirts for their fundraiser. I guess somebody had been contacting local citizens saying, being sent a link to order T-shirts to support the Oshkosh Fire Department. They have said, please do not open the message and definitely do not click on the link. So just to throw that out there, since that's something that's happened since the last meeting. In addition to that, I have a couple of them from the Better Business Bureau, which is an excellent place to get information. And there is a new phishing scam. And how this scam works is that you will receive a text message or something like this, that your bill is paid for March. Thanks, here's a little gift for you. The message followed by a link to an unfamiliar website. The text does not specify what bill you paid, what company the message is coming from, or what the total amount was. Even more disturbing, the message may be a group text sent to a dozen or more people, none of whom are in your contact list. This text is not from a real company. The goal is to get your personal information, which puts you at risk for identity theft. In some versions of this scam, you may be directed to a website asking you to confirm your identity so you can receive the gift. Scammers may also ask you for credit card information, claiming you need to pay a few dollars to ship this free gift. How to avoid texting scams? Do not click on links from strangers. In fact, be very suspicious of these links that are forwarded to you by your friends as well. Even well-meaning friends may forward suspicious-looking links without realizing that they have been scammed. Scammers often use links along with either exciting offer or a threat as a part of a phishing scam. They might want to elicit an emotional response from you, so you'll click on that link without thinking. Call the company directly to confirm messages are sent by text. If you think a message came from a company that you do business with, call them directly before you click on any links. Keep in mind that businesses need your permission to send you texts. If you've never opted to receive text messages from a company, then this text is probably a scam. Use good judgment. Scammers love to trick people with offers that are just too good to be true. If you get a message promising you'll receive an amazing gift for free, it is probably a scam. The second one that I have is a home energy auditor promising you to save money. Be careful. With summer coming and the rising temperatures can mean high air conditioning bills, and scammers have devised a new con that claims to save you money. Con artists posing as local government and utility representatives are offering a phony home energy audit and services. Here's what you need to know to spot the scam. How this scam works. You are contacted over the phone or in person at your front door. The representative introduces themselves as working for your utility company or with energy division of your local government. They may even show you some identification, but it is not real. Scammers inform you that you could be saving big on your energy bills, and some con artists will even insist on touring your home. These individuals may offer filters, thermostats, or other energy equipment to lower your bill. Or they may simply say that you are eligible to pay less. In either case, they ask you to sign a contract and possibly even run a credit check. They will also ask for billing information, including your debit or credit card number. In the end, you receive any discount on your energy bill or services, and the equipment you were promised will not be delivered. That's because this home energy audit is a scam. You may, however, be charged the fees mentioned in the contract, and your personal information will be in the hands of the scammer. How to spot these scams. Don't agree to anything on the spot, no matter how good the deal seems or how urgent the individual makes their offer seem. Take time to do your research. Tell the person you need to think about the offer and hang up or close the door. Scammers may tell you you'll miss out on the deal, but taking immediate action isn't worth getting scammed. Go to the source. Contact your local government agency or your utility company to directly confirm whether or not they are offering energy audit services. This is the quickest way to find out if you are dealing with an imposter. Get help. If you aren't sure about what you are being offered, talk to someone. Call a trusted friend or a family member, or contact your local Better Business Bureau to find out if you are dealing with a scam. That's all I have.
Okay, Joanne, you've got one?
My voice might be a little raspy. The Food and Drug Administration issued a warning to be on the lookout for counterfeit rapid at-home coronavirus tests, including imposters mimicking FlowFlex and iHealth test kits. These fake tests may look very similar to those that have been authorized by the FDA, but consumers should look for suspicious labeling that has spelling or grammar errors or poor quality images and packaging that lacks lot numbers or QR codes. The FDA said that it is not aware of any counterfeit tests being shipped through the federal government's test distribution program.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any? I've got a couple. Just as I was leaving this morning, there was something on the news, so I didn't hear the whole thing. But apparently scammers are out there stealing people's deposit on purchasing a new home. And I'll be interested to find out what that's all about, because that's not exactly pocket change, and it's certainly very devastating both to the buyer and the seller of that home, or if it's actually a true home for sale. If you know, during the pandemic, people have been buying homes and renting apartments without ever actually seeing them, with just going online. So it really opened the door for a lot of scams there, too. What I've got here is from a Milwaukee Journal article, and it's scams showing up from your own phone number. And with that, let's see, what did it say? Verizon blamed bad actors for thousands of spam text messages received by its customers and said it was working with the federal law enforcement to identify the source. And RoboTracker, which is a company that makes a mobile app to block the calls, tracked more than 5,000 same number spam text messages during the last week of March. That's just a small number of how many are out there. Also, kids, young children that have phones are getting some of these text messages, including pictures of nudes or very limited attired individuals, and less than appropriate messages. And again, trying to get that resolved. So the Better Business Bureau has ways of spotting those phony text messages. Again, the suspicious links, spelling, grammatical errors, anything that doesn't feel right, don't click, don't open. If you receive phone calls, hang up, block the numbers if you can with your phone. Again, not clicking on the links, not sharing your credit card or banking information, not sharing your full name, address, social security number, especially your social security number, with someone you've never met in person, and remembering that any photo you upload on social media can be stolen and used by scammers. And as we were looking at some baby pictures this morning, those can show up in all sorts of different places, which is really sad. It's quite the commentary on our society today. Any questions of anybody about what we've talked about so far in scams?
With the home selling of homes, do you know if it was due to wiring money
That I couldn't tell you. Like I said, it was just as I was turning the TV off, and I knew I had to get out the door. So I'm hoping to be able to find something a little bit later on today. But it was just enough to perk up and
Right.
pay attention. So that seems to be one of the emerging ones. Okay. Well, then moving on. Other business, upcoming community events for older adults. So Julie, we'll start with you.
I don't have any.
MindWorks, how's that going?
Well, MindWorks, that is here in Oshkosh every Thursday from 10 until 2 o'clock at the library. So that is open to anyone who has cognitive impairment. $10, they get a lunch, and then their caregiver, their loved one, would drop them off and get 3 hours to do whatever they wanted to do. So it is growing, so that's good. So if you know anyone that needs that kind of assistance, it's a good program.
Okay. Julie?
Sure. So from UWO's continuing ed, learning and retirement semester is kind of coming to an end. And we're working on our fall semester, and that catalog will be out in July, so I can announce that then. And then we are still taking registrations for Grandparents University. That program is July 14th and 15th, but majors are almost full, so I would highly recommend if somebody wants to get into that program that they register in the next month.
What was the name of that again?
Grandparents University.
In other words, it's a little bit of a popular class or group.
It is.
Mike, any comments?
Yeah, I mean, not an event, but just a reminder that if anyone out there is participating in Nomo May, where you don't have to mow your lawn in May, you do have to register with the city, otherwise you will get a violation. So just make sure you go to the city website and let them know if you do plan to participate in that, and it is 100% optional.
For people that don't know what Nomo May is, you want to explain it?
Yeah, I'll do my best to explain it, but it involves pollination. I guess it's good for the bees not to mow your lawn in May. So there is an effort, a nationwide effort, but I think it was born here in Wisconsin, to give some regulatory relief to property owners that want to, encourage bee pollination in their yard in May. And in the city, we're just waiving enforcement of participating properties. If they don't want to mow their lawn in May, they won't get a violation from the city.
And if I understand correctly, the Sustainability Board is very much in favor of that?
Oh yeah, that's where that came from. So this is our second year participating in it. Last year people didn't have to register, but there was a lot of confusion. So I think that we've learned a little bit, and hopefully everything goes smoothly this year. And I don't. It feels silly to have to stress it, but again, like if you don't want to participate, you absolutely can mow your lawn. And if you don't mow your lawn, you got to expect it to be pretty long at the end of this, and the city will not mow that for you, so do plan accordingly if you do participate. These are all calls we've gotten. So.
And some of the lawns can get very high by
Yes.
then, so it's not a simple mowing job after.
No, it certainly isn't. I know we had a few people again that called us last year saying, is the city going to come mow the lawn now since you told us we couldn't mow it in May? And I'm like, no, we didn't explain this very well. That perception's out there. So it is optional. And do register with the city if you participate.
Perhaps the city could supply goats at the end of May.
Maybe some sort of zoo exhibit wrapped into it, yeah.
Well, there are some farmers that have goats that they
Yeah.
do rent out, so just consider that. And you're going to have your lawn mowed, weeds gone, and some fertilization besides.
There you go.
So that always helps. Heidi?
Well, we have the NAMI Walk this weekend, which is May 7th at Oshkosh North High School. This is our annual fundraiser, and we have parents and children and grandparents all participate as they support our organization that helps those with individuals with mental health issues through peer-to-peer support class and our family classes. So if you just want to come out on Saturday, May 7th, 9 o'clock is when the walk starts. People start showing up a little bit after 8 o'clock. We're going to have, we've got a photo booth. We've got mascots from local businesses coming out. We have face painting and balloon animals, and it's just going to be a real fun family event, and we just encourage everyone to come out and support each other, because everybody knows somebody who is struggling with mental health issues. Every family is touched by it. So 9 o'clock is when the walk starts. Oshkosh North High School, NAMI Walk.
Joanne?
I don't have any events, but maybe a reminder that if you want to get vaccinated and get a booster, you can still go to Sunnyview for free at 1 to 6 every Wednesday. And maybe some clarification that if you get your original shots and then you get a booster, and then for that second booster, you only have to wait 4 months, not 6.
And part of the not recommendation, but one of the things that's acceptable is mixing vaccines now.
You're right. In fact, they're finding that there might be, it doesn't hurt you, and there might be some benefit.
Could be a fair amount of benefit. And I'll put the caution out there. You may or may not fare as well or better with this second type of vaccine. Everybody reports something a little bit different because as individuals, we're all a little bit different. So something to keep in mind, but it certainly is not a bad thing to consider it. And I know that they're talking about maybe come fall, we're going to need something again. This virus is not predictable. And so we just have to take it as it comes and deal with it and pay attention and watch out for everybody else too. So
Which shot is one available at the Expo Center?
Moderna and Pfizer.
Can you choose or no?
Yes,
Okay.
let me choose. I know that we are out of the J&J vaccine as of like yesterday. And we won't be getting any more.
And that's just the single shot,
Right.
first shot, that's
right,
not.
and we won't be getting any more. But most people that are going now are getting boosters
Mm-hmm.
anyway, and there's still testing available there also. So if you have, if you have any doubt and you want to know, it's free testing.
And there are outbreaks. I mean,
Yes, yes.
I've had individuals that are living in assisted living or CBRF homes, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm getting emails that there's a breakout. I mean, so I know a lot of us think, that's done and gone, but it really is not. In fact, Oshkosh West was supposed to have a play last weekend, and that got canceled because some of the staff members or some of the students, came down with COVID, and the school felt, this is what we have to do,
Right.
to best serve the community. It's easy to forget about it because we want to forget about it, but we really can't.
Yes, we're weary. Everybody's COVID weary.
Right.
I do know that the numbers are less accurate for how many people are contacting it because of the in-home tests.
Correct.
So that if you go to Sunnyview, then the government gets that information
Right.
of who's tests positive. But if you're doing in-home tests, then we don't. So they're a little bit less accurate. But we're one of the states that we have seen a rise in it.
One of the reports that I got, there were, I think, 3 northwestern counties in the state that just moved from low to moderate risk, where their numbers were. And it looks like they're climbing in other areas too. So,
Yeah, and I think for me personally even, I had a cold a couple of weeks ago, so I went and got tested. But I think we're so COVID fatigued that I just went, oh, it's a cold. I wanted to go back to that.
Right.
Oh, it's just a cold, I'll get over it. And I don't need to isolate from people until I know you know what I mean? It's easy to relax what you feel because we're just tired of it.
well, there's a couple from my church just came home. Well, they spent half the year here, half of the year down in Chile. And they were only home a few days, and both apparently have contracted COVID. And both have been vaccinated and boosted, but we're still isolating. And we had something special going on at church this weekend, and obviously they missed it. So, yeah. Okay. Jean?
Yes, in our newsletter, page 28, our friends are doing a shred event. All are welcome. It'll be held in the north parking lot. They'll have a big truck, and if you want to leave your items in the trunk of the car, they'll come and get everything out of the trunk and put it in the truck. So the information is right there. What can be shred: paper, file folders, hanging files, computer paper, notepads, envelopes, staples, paper clips, and bowl clips do not need to be removed. So they will not shred 3-ring binders, batteries, small e-waste items, garbage, plastic cups, paper plates, food wrappers, etc. So it is held May 21st from 9 to 11 at the Oshkosh Senior Center in the North facility. Also, mark your calendars, 2 events: Food Truck Fridays, June 17th and August 19th from 4:30 to 8:30 at South Park. All are invited.
I have a couple neighbors asked, how fast are the senior center tours filling up?
I would say, depending on the trip, it is very fast,
Okay.
and I would just call there to find out what their numbers are.
Thank you. Oh, how did your presentation with Magic and Officer Zapata go?
We didn't have that yet.
Okay, all right.
That's coming up.
All right. All right. All right, I have a couple of things. I try to bring the good news of Oshkosh, and back in April, our own Kate Mann from the Oshkosh Police Department was one of 2 officers, the other being Megan Cash from Appleton, presented to the the FBI National Academy Associates Wisconsin Chapter Spring Conference at Fox Valley Tech, public safety training, speaking about community engagement, building community trust initiatives, and community outreach programs. And the community crisis closet at the police department was spotlighted, Kiwanis Cops and Kids, No Time for Crime, Positively Oshkosh was spotlighting where the police department helped one of the homeless men being appropriately dressed and prepared for a job interview, and that he got an interview. So it was really neat to see something like that put out for more widespread distribution. I can email it to you too if you want. Okay. Another one that was a friend saw and sent a link to me. SmartAsset Survey, which I'm not familiar with, but they analyze data on a variety of subjects. But they were looking at livability of communities. And what they were following were, the metrics were concentration of entertainment establishments, restaurants, bars, healthcare establishments, home affordability, housing cost as a percentage of median income, percentage of residents below the poverty line, unemployment rate percentage of residents without health insurance, and average commute time. And when you put it all together, and 8 of the 10 cities that ranked in the top were from the Midwest, and 2 of them in Wisconsin. Anybody have an idea who was number 2?
Oshkosh?
Oshkosh,
Awesome.
who was number 5?
Madison.
Eau Claire.
Oh, Claire, wow.
And I thought that was very intriguing. Even though we've got basically the highest concentration of bars, we still rated well in all of these different things. And it really gets into a lot of detail. And Mike, with your background, it's probably easy to understand. For the rest of us, we struggle.
Welcome to sit in my methods course. It's going on right now.
Yeah, thank you. I have a few spare hours in my time. But it was just something that was really intriguing. You know, we heard UWO has really improved in it, not necessarily one of the top universities in the country for everything, but again, best use of the assets that we have and everything. And so we've really made some big strides in this area from where we had been before. And the other thing, when we talked last month about the police department with Magic, the therapy dog, let's see, they were going to be hiring someone from the county as a crisis worker, and that has been accomplished. And one of the things that intrigued me, and we had a speaker here, we had Brenda Doolittle from SANE about a year and a half ago, the sexual abuse nurse examiner program at Aurora. Anyway, the staff from that particular program have met with Officer Zapata and Magic and learned that they are able to access those services when they have a victim that is having some really serious issues that could be addressed during the entire interview process and examination process there. So the collaborations that are developing with the police department and a lot of our other local entities is really expanding. So again, something good. And as I said, that's one of the things that I'm trying to do. We're always trying to address the needs of the elders in our community, but when we address the needs of our elders, we really should be addressing the needs of the entire community for many things. So that's my personal philosophy. It's not necessarily our mission. So we welcome input on those types of things also. Any other comments? Anything to bring before the group?
I wanted to say that when I mentioned MindWorks on Thursdays, I mistakenly said from 10 until 2, it's 11 until 2. MindWorks for the people who have cognitive decline.
Okay, thank you. Okay, our next meeting date is June 7th, 2022. And with that, our discussion will include the election of a chair and vice chair. We will also be deciding whether we're going to meet in July, since that is the week of the 4th of July, and how many people will be here or will be gone. Would make a difference whether we have a quorum. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second it?
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.